Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it.
I was just rinsing out my coffee mug when the phone rang. An unfamiliar number with a Texas area code blinking insistently on the screen. It was a Tuesday mid-morning and I had the day off from the library. I almost let it go to voicemail. Hello? Miss Leona Johnson. The voice was clipped, professional. Yes, speaking. This is Karen Delgado from Texas Bank Group. I'm calling to confirm your second mortgage payment on the Lexington property. The payment hasn't been received yet, and the account is now 30 days past due. I froze, my hand tightening around the edge of the counter. I think there's been a mistake, I said slowly. I don't own any property in Lexington. There was a pause. I could almost hear Karen's brows knit on the other end. Ma'am, the loan was approved in your name, co-signed by Donald Johnson. That's your brother, correct? My mouth went dry. Yes, but I never signed any loan. Karen's tone sharpened. Then you may want to contact our fraud department. I'll send over the documents we have on file. Please check your email in a moment. I barely said thank you before hanging up. My pulse was hammering. Lexington, a mortgage? I didn't have a dime to spare, let alone money to buy a property in another city. The email arrived within seconds. I opened the PDF attachment and scrolled through. My full name, my social security number, a nearly flawless imitation of my signature, pages and pages of financial documents co-signed by my brother Donald. Donald, my golden child brother. Always bailed out, always trying again, always forgiven. I hadn't spoken to him in months after he ghosted me for a loan I refused to give. And now this. I called him immediately, straight to voicemail. Typical. The next call I made was to Michael Grant. Leona? He answered on the first ring, always sharp and aware, probably mid-trial, I thought. I need you, I said, sitting down heavily on the edge of my couch. I think someone took out a mortgage in my name, co-signed by Donald. And I swear on everything, Michael, I never touch any paperwork. It looks like my parents signed off on it too. Stay calm, Michael said, though his voice had dropped an octave. I'll come by in an hour. Don't call them yet. Let me take a look at the files first. I hung up and stared blankly at the screen. My parents, my brother. These are the people I trusted, blood I protected, faces I smiled at across Christmas dinner. Now the faces behind a crime. I didn't cry. I just sat there, hands folded tightly together, staring at a future I didn't ask for unraveling like a snagged thread on a favorite sweater. And deep inside, something cold and sharp began to take shape, an edge I never knew I had. Justice. And this time, I wouldn't let blood silence me. Michael sat across from me in my apartment, sleeves rolled up, a stack of printed documents fanned across my coffee table. His eyes were scanning rapidly, focused, unblinking. This isn't just identity theft, he muttered. This is premeditated fraud. I leaned forward. You think they planned it together? He looked up. They used your name, your social security number, forged your signature on not one, but 4 different documents, the bank statements, the credit card accounts, and the $70,000 loan. Leona, your parents had to know. My breath caught. I had been clinging to the hope, foolish, maybe that Donald had acted alone, that my parents had just been fooled. But now, I have to confront them, I said quietly. Michael's expression hardened. Record everything. Don't yell. Don't threaten. Just ask the right questions. We'll need evidence. The drive to my parents' house in Oakdale was quiet. The sky was overcast, as if it too sensed the storm about to break. I hadn't been home since Easter, just enough time for secrets to fester. Mom opened the door, surprised. Leona? What a lovely. I brushed past her. Where's Dad? In the living room. What's going on? I walked in. My father looked up from his recliner, confused then wary. Donald sat on the couch, thumbing through his phone until he saw me. His face drained of color. I stood before them and held out the printed documents. I got a call from Texas Bank Group. A mortgage in my name, credit cards I never opened, a $70,000 loan. My signature on every page. Donald stood, stammering. Leona? You forged my name, I snapped. All of you. Mom reached for my arm. We only did it to help Donnie. He was in a tough place. We knew you'd never agree. That's right, Donald blurted. I just needed a little help to get back on my feet. You had good credit. You're not using it anyway. I stared at them, mouth trembling. You destroyed my credit, my trust, and you did it behind my back like I meant nothing to you. Dad sighed, rubbing his forehead. You'll bounce back. You always do. I shook my head slowly. Not this time. I've contacted a lawyer. I'm pressing charges. The room fell silent, ice cold. You'd send your own family to jail? Mom whispered. No, I said, backing toward the door. You did that yourselves. I left without looking back, but behind me, I heard Donald shout my name, and the front door slammed harder than I'd ever heard it before. Michael called me at 7:13 a.m., his voice tight with urgency. Liana, you need to come to my office. Now. I barely had time to sip my coffee before I was on the road, heart pounding. His office on the 9th floor overlooked downtown Houston, but the morning sun couldn't warm the chill that met me as I stepped inside. He motioned me over without a word and spun his laptop around. What you're about to see, he said, goes far beyond your family. On the screen was a flowchart, dozens of names, fake companies, account numbers, and right in the center, Leona Johnson. What is this? I asked, already knowing I wouldn't like the answer. Michael rubbed his temple. Your parents and Donald didn't just steal from you. They used your identity to launch a fake investment fund, Brightwave Holdings. They've lured in at least 8 people with promises of 40% returns. I froze. That's illegal securities fraud. Exactly. One of the investors, Dr. Hammond, your old physician, and your mom's best friend, Clara Benton. I interviewed them both. They gave money because you were listed as the managing director. I blinked. I never even heard of Brightwave. They make it look real. Website, business license, even a fake email address --leonage@brightwaveholdings.com. I swallowed hard, nausea crawling in. They're ruining other people's lives now. In my name? Michael's eyes didn't waver. It's time we go federal. I've drafted the report for the FBI. But this rabbit hole, it's only getting deeper. Filing the complaint at the FBI field office felt like walking into a lion's den, cold, clinical, and merciless. Michael and I sat across from Special Agent Rivera, who flipped through our stack of evidence with methodical precision. These signatures here, Rivera said, pointing to the forged loan agreement, you're confirming they're not yours. I nodded firmly, not mine, not even close. Michael added, we've traced financial transfers from Brightwave Holdings directly to Donald's account. Leona's parents acted as recruiters, using her name to give the scheme credibility. Rivera's eyes narrowed. We'll need statements from all affected investors. You willing to testify? I'll do whatever it takes, I said, my voice steady, even as my stomach twisted. They used me like a pawn. That afternoon, Clara Benton broke down in tears during her affidavit, clutching the fake investment contract. Dr. Hammond's calm exterior cracked when he saw the forged emails from me. By the end of the day, the FBI had enough for a case file. Rivera looked at me as he stood. You've done the right thing. But you need to be ready. Once we arrest them, everything changes. This will go public. I glanced at Michael, then back at Rivera. Let it. They already stole my name. I'm taking it back. The courtroom fell silent as the jury returned. My pulse roared in my ears. Judge Calloway read the verdicts one by one. Guilty, guilty, guilty. My mother's eyes welled up. My father stared straight ahead, stone-faced. Donald slumped like a rag doll. Michael leaned over and whispered, it's over, Leona. But it wasn't. Not yet. At sentencing, I took the stand one last time. They didn't just steal my credit. They stole my peace, my future, my trust in the people I loved most. I looked directly at them, and still, I stand. My parents were each given 5 years. Donald, 18 months and probation. Restitution ordered. Apologies muttered. Too late. Outside the courthouse, Clara Benton hugged me. You saved us all, Leona. Weeks later, I signed a lease for my own place. Sunlight poured through the windows like a promise. My credit score was rising thanks to a patient advisor and months of hard work. Michael surprised me with a small bronze plaque. Leona Johnson, survivor, fighter, free woman. I smiled, tears slipping down my cheeks. Freedom wasn't just a word anymore. It was mine.
Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.